How do you recommend shutting down circular conversations without escalation? So while you can remain calm and cool on your side, that doesn't mean that they won't escalate the issue. Because when you're not agreeing with toxic people or when you're not doing what they want, they escalate. But here are some ways that you can navigate these conversations. Number one, notice that the argument is coming. For me, it was when he would start to get agitated or he would get hypercritical. He would nitpick at things that were really insignificant. His face would shift to this look of like, I dare you, and my nervous system would start to dysregulate. It was like I could feel an energy shift and my body was giving me a warning sign. Number two, expect cruelty. With a narcissistic person, nothing is off the table. So whatever tactic they pull is really no surprise. Expect them to be hurtful, expect them to be cruel, and expect the conversation to go in circles. When you expect it, there's less opportunity for the conversation to throw you off and less of a chance for you to get pulled into it. Number three, don't argue right or wrong. That's pointless. Narcissists will never accept blame anyways, so it will just end up being a waste of your breath. Remember, they're not arguing to prove a point. They're arguing to feel the rush of satisfaction of putting you down and belittling you. So take those opportunities away so they don't have that power. Number four, stick with the facts. I would avoid speaking about my feelings and only address the facts because it makes it harder to twist the narrative when you're speaking on facts. If he tried, I would say things like, well, that's not my experience and that's not how I remember things. Number five, I offered him empathy. This would throw him off. Healthy empathy stops at understanding. I would say, yeah, I understand why you feel that way, because I did. With his limited self-awareness, his inability to self-reflect, and his deep-seated insecurities, I definitely understood why he felt the way he did. Number six, I would solution seek. So I would ask things like, how can we move forward? What does that look like for you? Phrasing it as we would make him feel like I was approaching it as a partnership. What was interesting was the majority of his answers relied around things that I needed to do to change so that he could feel a certain way. So it really highlighted the controlling nature of the relationship. He was unwilling to take ownership for his own part, and that became one of the biggest reasons why I left. Number seven, set boundaries on what you will talk about and what you won't talk about. If there are particular subjects that always end up in circular conversations, just refuse to engage in them. Use the Jade method. Do not justify, argue, defend, or explain. Say something like, we can never seem to find common ground, so let's just agree to disagree. But you must prepare yourself for the guilt trips. They will always issue guilt trips. And there's a reason they're called circular conversations, because the line is always moving, the story is always changing, and it's always about you doing what they want. You have to be able to see the tactics as they're using them and choose to not engage.